Good morning everybody and welcome back to Life Full of Zest. Today we are going to be doing another Pilates class. This particular class is going to be an intermediate based one with a few advanced exercises. I hope you're ready and excited for these new movements. We're going to start with a warm-up. Very important that we focus on that warm-up, that we ensure that we are nicely stretched so that we can perform these intermediate to advanced based exercises as we continue. Let's get started seated at the end of our mats. Please make sure that you are comfortably in a seated position and that your legs are extended out in front of you. We are going to start with our toes pointing up towards the ceiling. We're going to place our hands in front of us. Please make sure that your ankles are in line with your shoulders. Your knees are extended and being just pushed down into the ground. We're going to lengthen that spine, open that chest. We're going to inhale, and on the exhale, slowly roll head, then neck and chest all the way down towards our toes, keeping those toes pointing up towards the ceiling. We're going to inhale, and on the exhale, slowly lift. We're going to do 4 of these. Inhale, exhale, rolling down. And inhale, that's 2. Stacking that vertebra. Inhale, exhale, and reach. And 3. And last one. Inhale and exhale. And we're going to hold on this one at the bottom. Slowly down and reaching. And inhale, exhale, reach a little further. And inhale, exhale, reach a little further, point those toes to those nose, allowing that stretch down that calf, and hold for 5, 4, reach a little bit more, and slowly rolling yourself back up. From here, we're going to bring our arms into a T position. We're going to point our arms up towards the ceiling, and we're slowly going to rotate our hands from side to side and trunk. 2 counts to inhale, center. When you're doing this one, I want you to keep your arms in that T position and you're imagining your ribs going to the opposite hips. And let's do 2 more. And last one, and back to center. We're going to bring ourselves to the center of the mat. We're going to extend our toes towards the wall in front of us, lengthening that spine. Arms in a T in front of us, palms facing each other. We're slowly going to inhale, and on the exhale, slowly roll ourselves down into a lying position, controlling that vertebra all the way down, extending arms overhead. Inhale, exhale, lift arms up towards ceiling. Roll head, neck and chest off the ground and lifting into that seated position. And we're going to extend further and rolling forward, touching those toes, keeping those toes pointing in front of you. Inhale, we're going to do 4 of these and stacking that vertebra and rolling down, controlling yourself, sucking in that belly to spine and extending. If you are struggling to lower yourself down and back up, you can just bend your knees and place your hand around the back of your knees to pull yourself up. Stack that vertebra and rolling forward and reaching. Inhale and exhale, back up and rolling down. Controlling, using that core, keeping those feet on the floor, slow and controlled. And reaching, inhale, exhale, arms to center, bringing head, neck and chest off the ground, rolling forward and reaching as far as you can go, and up and rolling back down, all the way down to the floor. And we're going to stay up for a little bit, reaching as much as you can, pointing those toes, deep breath in. And on the exhale, lift arms to ceiling, rolling head, neck and chest up, controlling yourself up and slowly reaching forward and holding, pointing those toes. Reach, 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 reach. and inhale, and exhale, slowly back up. We're slowly going to turn around into a seated position. I want you to tuck your left foot into your right groin, and we're slowly going to place the other hand on the outside of our right hand thigh, and we're going to reach over and try and extend ourselves over towards the opposite toe. And while you're doing that, I want you to really push that left glute into the ground, and we're going to reach and inhale back to starting point. You just imagine like you're creating a little bit of a rainbow using your hand, stretching out that side part of your body, and back. We're going to do 2 more of these, and slowly reaching over, really focusing on keeping that knee and leg straight and pushing that groin towards the wall in front of you, pushing that glute down towards the floor. Inhale back to starting point, and last one. And I want you to really focus on reaching, taking that other hand down and reaching forward, and slowly back up and changing over those legs, tucking that right foot into that left groin and placing that left hand next to your left thigh and reaching over towards your opposite side. And inhale, center, creating that rainbow. Remember to push that glute down into the ground when you are working. And slowly back. We've got 2 more of these. And reaching forward. And slowly back. And last one. Reaching, and we're slowly going to reach and extend. Getting to those toes and holding. And deep breath in. And reaching over and slowly back. We're going to turn around into the center of the mat. In that seated position, we're going to extend those toes and we're going to roll down to lie down onto that mat, palms facing each other. Inhale, and on the exhale, slowly rolling yourself down to lie in the center of the mat. Just make sure that you're comfortably in that center, getting that core tight, lengthening that spine. We're going to suck in that pelvic floor, and we're going to lift those legs up into tabletop position. We're going to do a little bit of a fundamental warm-up before we begin. Let's suck in that pelvic floor. Just make sure that you are aware of your body, your pelvic positioning. You want that neutral pelvis. You want to get that core activation, and you want to make sure that you have that 90-degree angle in those hips and those knees. And you are going to inhale, and on the exhale, do right leg toe tap and inhale up. We're just going to do 8 of these. 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 into double leg toe taps, knees together, deep breath in and toe tap. 1 and 2 and 3. Please make sure when you are lowering that you are maintaining that pelvic position. I don't want to see an arched back like that when you're going down. You want to really focus, even emphasize that flat back, pushing that lower back into the floor to make sure that you're controlling that movement going down. And let's do 2 more. 1 and 2 and up, hugging, bringing that belly to spine. We're going to interlace our hands comfortably behind our heads. We're going to inhale, and on the exhale, lifting head, neck, and chest off the ground, keeping that 90-degree angle. And we're going to rotate towards the left-hand side. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate towards the left-hand side. Back to center. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And here, keeping that head, neck, and chest off the ground, we're going to do 6 tabletop toe taps. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. Slowly lowering head, neck, and chest back to the floor, hugging those knees to chest. And we're going to hold. You should be feeling nice and warm into that tummy area. We're going to get into the sequences, those intermediate to advanced based sequences. We're going to just take it, ease ourselves into it. Please give yourself grace if you don't manage to do them. We can build towards that, but I would say still give it a try. It's always fun to still try them anyway. Let's get those legs back up into tabletop position. We're going to lift those legs up towards the ceiling, extending those knees, and try and keep that 90-degree angle in those hips. If you are struggling, you can just bend your knees like that. We'll still be able to do the work. And the rest of us, let's try and keep those knees straight. We're going to lift head, neck, and chest off the ground, and interlacing our hands behind the head, pointing those toes. We're going to slowly inhale, and on the exhale, lower left leg while our left ankle rotates towards our right knee. 2 pulses, and rotate. 2 pulses, and rotate, and rotate, and rotate. Let's do 4 more, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and slowly bending those knees, lowering that head, neck, and chest, and hugging knees towards your chest. We're slowly going to drop our feet onto the floor. We're going to inhale, and on the exhale, rolling that pelvis up towards the ceiling, activating those glutes, digging those heels into the ground to allow that hamstring stretch, tucking in that pubic bone towards that chin, drawing those gaps down the back, pushing those shoulders into the ground. We're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and inhale, and exhale, slowly lowering yourself back down. We're going to do 3 of these just as a warm-up before we get into the next movement. And slowly rolling yourself back up, squeezing those glutes, keeping that core activated. I want you to really focus on using that core to articulate and control yourself. Down and up. And last one, we're going to stay in the air. Inhale, exhale, slowly rolling yourself back up. Keeping that hip height, keeping those hips aligned. We're going to transfer our weight onto that left leg. We're going to extend that right leg up towards the ceiling, pointing that toe. We're going to lower that leg. We're then going to flex that ankle to lift it back up. And we're going to do 8 of these. That's 1. Making sure when you're doing this, you are stabilized in that hip. That's 3 and 4. I want you to feel that stretch in that hamstring as you go. 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. And we're going to lower and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Legs back into tabletop, lifting that left leg while that right leg maintains stability and pointing that toe towards the ceiling, keeping that hip hard, really focus. If you are struggling, just drop it a little bit lower and inhale, lower, and exhale. Keep breathing as we're going. That's 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. 2 more, and 7 and 8, and aligning those knees and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bending that leg back into tabletop, dropping that foot, lifting those hips to slowly roll yourself back down. I want you to just bring yourselves a little bit closer towards the lower part of your mat. We're going to do a rollover into a jackknife. So this is a new exercise. So I hope you're ready. We're going to lift our legs up into that tabletop and then extend them at a 45-degree angle, lifting them up to 90 degrees in those hips. We're going to inhale, and while we're inhaling, we're lowering those hips, and on the exhale, we're lifting our legs and hips off the ground into a rolling over position. From here, you're going to slowly, keeping those legs straight, keeping ankles and knees together, lift your body into a 90-degree angle and hold, and slowly articulate yourself back down to starting point. And we're going to do 3 more of those. And inhale, lower those legs. Exhale, lift your body up into a rollover, and slowly lifting yourself into that 90-degree perpendicular position of your body to the ground, and using your core to control and articulate down. Please don't fall down or use gravity to get you down. Back to center. 2 more. Inhale, lower those legs. On the exhale, lift yourself over into that rollover, and deep breath, and slowly lift yourself up, core tight, slow and controlled, into that 90 degrees, squeezing those glutes. You're really focusing on that activation to control. Last one. And inhale, lower those legs. Exhale, use your core to lift yourself over, core tight, and lifting up and squeezing those glutes, squeezing that core up to 90 degrees and rolling down, and slowly hugging those knees to chest. We're going to lift our backs up. We're going to get our hands pointing towards the wall in front of us. Well done, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that new movement. Just make sure that when you are doing it, you got to really focus on keeping all that, those core and glutes and everything nice and tight. From here, open that chest, draw those gaps down the side, down your body, and we're going to inhale, and on the exhale, lifting our hips up towards the ceiling, squeezing those glutes, squeezing that core. Remember, as I said, for those of you when we do this movement, if you are struggling to keep those legs straight, you can have a modification of lifting like that. And if you still struggle with those wrists, we can just lie down on your backs and just still do the movement. All right, or like I said, get that table. Okay, so let's lift up, hands facing the wall in front of you. We're slowly going to lift up, and from here transferring the weight onto that left foot, and we're going to lift and lower. 1, we're going to do 5, 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and transferring weight onto that right foot and lifting. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and slowly bending those knees. Those of you who kept those knees bent, you can just hold in this position, and we are going to, keeping those glutes nice and tight, we're going to lower and lift those arms. That's 1 and 2. Bending those elbows, 3, 4, we're doing 10, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 9, and 10, and lowering those glutes and hugging those knees to chest, lengthening that spine, and just allowing yourself to relax before we move on to the next movement. We're going to extend those legs. Those of you who do struggle with these rollover movements, you can just do the rolling like a ball, which is this movement where you just roll yourself down and back up. The rest of us, we're going to continue into another rollover movement. We're going to slowly roll ourselves down into that lying position, slow and controlled, pointing those toes, and just make sure that you do have space behind you. So just bring yourself down to the end of the mat, lifting those legs into tabletop, extending those toes up towards the ceiling. We're going to inhale, lower those legs. On the exhale, lift and roll over, and pointing those toes, you're slowly going to control yourself by articulating through that spine, down, back to starting point. Keep going, 1 vertebra at a time, all the way down. Keep going, and as you get your pelvis in contact with the floor, you can round those legs back to starting point. We're going to do 2 more. Inhale, lower those legs, pointing those toes. Exhale, lift and roll over, pointing toes to the ground and controlling yourself back to starting point. You should be getting a deep activation into your core and glute muscles, as well as a stretch down that spine. Inhale, lower those legs. Exhale, lift and roll over, and slowly rolling down back to starting point, keeping control. Please don't let gravity do all the work. Your body is doing all of it, and hugging those knees towards your chest. And we're just going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're slowly going to lower those legs, and we are going to turn over onto our sides. From here, we're going to, I want your hands, your fingers pointing the wall next to you. I want your front foot, your top foot comfortably in front and over your bottom foot. I want your ankles, hips, and shoulders all in line with each other. And we're going to inhale. And on the exhale, we're going to lift those hips up towards the ceiling. And we're going to reach over into a rainbow and slowly come back down. We're going to do 3 of these. That's 1. Inhale, exhale, lift those hips, and slowly back down. Keeping those hips forward, keeping that core tight. And 3. From here, we're going to lift those hips, but now that hand, instead of going over to the side, it's going to lift and thread through the other arm and between the body and the arm. All right, so Let's go. We're also going to do 3 of these. We're going to inhale, and on the exhale, lifting those hips up and slowly rolling yourself through, looking at the wall behind you, and slowly back down. That's 1. And inhale and exhale, lifting up and rotating that body over and around and slowly back. That's 2. And last one, core tight, sucking in and lifting that arm, lifting those hips and rotating over and slowly back up and back down. All right, from here, we're going to lower our elbow onto the floor, and we're going to lift ourselves into a side plank position, and we are going to point those toes towards the wall in front of us, and we're just going to do little pulsations up and down. Core tight. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make sure you're not slumping into those shoulders. 7 and 8 and 9 and 10, and we're going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly down. We're going to turn over to do that same sequence on the other side. Well done, everyone. I hope you're feeling nice and stretched out and activated. I'm feeling really good. Let's continue. Hand is facing the wall next to you. Top leg is comfortably over and around that bottom leg. We're going to inhale, and on the exhale, lift yourself over to reach and inhale back down. We've got 2 more of these. Inhale and exhale, extend. Those of you who do struggle with that wrist pain, you can also just, if you get a table and you just lean onto that, your elbow onto that table, you'll be able to manage to do this one, and slowly back. Now we're going to do those up and threading through and in between our arm and body. We're going to inhale, and on the exhale, lifting yourself up and circulating your body round, and inhale, back down, and inhale and exhale, up and around and slowly back down. Last one, let's make it count. I really want you to focus on keeping that stability and that control, and slowly up and over and up and slowly back down. Let's turn over onto our tummies. From here, I want you to extend arms overhead. Neck is in neutral, pointing those toes, activating those glutes, activating that core. We're going to lift those knees off the ground, lifting those arms off the ground, and we're going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We're going to rotate our palms towards the floor, and we're going to go into swimming, lifting and lowering opposite hands and legs. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly lowering yourself, lifting yourself up into that rest position for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly coming back down. I want you to bend those knees, point your toes towards the ceiling. We're going to squeeze those glutes to lift those knees off the ground, and we're going to take our hands and place them onto our ankles. We're going to inhale, and on the exhale, lifting chest and knees up, and inhale, exhale down. We're going to do 5 of these. Inhale, exhale, lift knees, head, neck, and chest off the ground. Core nice and tight. And down. That's 2. And up. And hold. Core nice and tight. Squeezing knees together. And we've got 2 more. And up. Core tight. Squeezing glutes. And down. And last one, we're going to hold for 10 seconds. And slowly up. And holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And slowly down. Bringing arms overhead and lifting yourself up into rest position. We've got one more little back extension exercise before we progress. Keep it up, everyone. You should be feeling nice and activated. And slowly back over onto your tummies. We're going to interlace our hands behind our backs. We're going to bend our legs, and I want you to just place your hands comfortably on your back like so, bending those elbows, neck facing comfortably on your right hand side. You're lying on your right cheek. We're going to inhale, and on the exhale, extend arms and legs and lifting up, and then rotating to opposite direction. Inhale, exhale, extend and rotate, and extend and rotate, and extend and rotate. And last one, we're going to hold in the air and extend and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and lower. And slowly lifting yourself up into that rest position. Pushing those shoulders into the ground for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get into an all fours position. Wrists comfortably under shoulders, knees comfortably under hips, sucking in belly to spine, squeezing those glutes. We're going to inhale, and on the exhale, lift right leg, extending that right leg, extending that left leg, and we're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly coming back onto the knees to rest for 5, 4. We're going to lift back up and lifting, and we're going to inhale, and on the exhale, I want you to knee tuck, and 1 and 2. We're just doing 6 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, and we're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and knees in and going into that rest position. We're going to do that one more time, then we're going to go into our final stretch. Last little push, everyone, and slowly back onto that all fours, extending right leg, extending left leg, and holding for 5, 4, and inhale and exhale. Make sure that those glutes are tight and that pelvis is in neutral, and knee tuck. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and last little push. Please make sure those shoulders aren't coming towards your ears. You're almost pushing yourself away from the floor, and holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly leaning into those glutes, into that rest position. Pushing those shoulders into the ground, and slowly walking your hands over towards the right hand side, and allowing that stretch And then slowly walking yourself over to the other side, allowing that stretch. And slowly back to center, getting into that all fours position, pushing those heels up towards the ceiling, those hips up towards the ceiling, pushing those heels into the ground, rotating that pelvis, and allowing that stretch down those hamstrings. Try and push those heels into the ground, push those back of those knees towards the wall behind you. And then bring that head down, allowing a stretch into those shoulders as well as in those knees. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and bend that right knee and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and rotate and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly coming down into a seated position. Well done, everyone. I really enjoyed those new exercises. As I said, they are new and it's not easy if you have only just been exposed to them for the first time, so give yourself grace. You'll definitely eventually get there. Just keep doing these Pilates sessions and you will get strong and we can build together. We've had some comments from a lot of our subscribers with regards to the adverts coming on during these Pilates sessions. So what we've done is created a Patreon account whereby you can have access to all the videos with no interruptions. So take a look. You can click on the link in the description below and you can see if it's something that you would prefer as opposed to just these YouTube channels with the ads. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video. We have 2 more videos left of our 30-day lockdown workout series, but stay tuned because there's going to be new and exciting workouts coming through after that. Have a good day, everybody.